Welcome one and all. We're back at it again with Earthbound Super Series Monday. I'm Uko and I will be your host this evening. First of all, we have Strawflowerss versus Oxcat. Two runners who've been doing pretty well this tourney. On Oxcat's end, with Strawflowerss, I will say she's been posting kind of like sub 115. I think she had 116 in round 2, probably due to some unfortunate circumstances, but otherwise playing pretty well. And then Oxcat, on the other hand, she had it pretty rough in the first couple of rounds, posting a couple of 120s. But then last week she showed us what she's made of, posted a really solid low 110, so I'm excited to get into this matchup. I want to see what both of these runners can pull out this evening. Let's make it happen, Captain. For those who aren't caught up, we are in round 4 of the qualifiers. Our tournament consists of qualifiers in the Swiss formatting to sort of get everyone seated for the bracket stage. And now that we're in round 4, after each of these races are completed, everyone will be having their worst time out of the 4 dropped from their average, and then that sort of top 3 race time average will be used to arrange our seating for the bracket stage. Win-loss record will be counted first, and then average time will be counted second for ordering within the tied win-loss records. Good luck to our runners. Good luck, chat. Good luck, Temple. Good luck, Uko. Thank you. Our prediction has gotten started, so if you want to gamble those Earth Bucks, like I have been throwing them away every single race, getting all my predictions wrong, go right ahead. Good luck, Harrison Ford. Yes, that is correct. Can't wait to see Harrison Ford in Star Wars Episode 10. He like has a walker. Saw overmatch on Oxcat's side. Whoopsie daisy. During the first 4 minutes, there's really not a lot happening, so we're always kind of looking at people's sort of movement styles through the overworld and the cursor movement, menuing speeds and such. I'm always looking at that Tracy room leave time, that leaving the house the first time, the mom fade out time. Because the exact amount of seconds that you take to get to those certain checkpoints can be sort of a marker for what kind of a runner you are. But ultimately, in the race format, it's pretty inconsequential. There's way too much shenaniganery that can befall any runner of any skill level, as we have definitely seen, especially lately. Jeez. Oh, mom eluding Oxcat. Ugh. Speak properly, damn you. Oh, Tracy blocking Strawflowerss, forcing her to go back in the door. That's really unfortunate, honestly. In these terms, at least. On the grand scheme, it's not going to mean much. About to get into the real gameplay here after we call our dad. What do we got? Some easily walkable dogs on both sides. Nice. Still even here. Ooh, Oxcat navigating around crows. And strawflowerss too, navigating around a crow. Nice work, but gets cut off by a dog. Ox sees a bunch of crows, has to go back. Strawflowerss is now pincered. Decides to just reset that whole situation almost. Actually, yeah, no, the crow stays in place, so good work on that. Didn't see what kind of spawn Ox had on that third 100%, but she does get past it quickly. Has to stutter one more snake. Makes it to the top. Ooh, that liar exaggerates snake. You never want to see that. So that'll cost strawflowerss a little bit of time right here at the start. I feel like lately the Starman Jr. time has been a real tone setter for a lot of these races. Biggest example for me being yesterday when we had that race between Andy Perfect and Octopus Cal, two of our biggest legends in Earthbound speedrunning history. Right at the beginning, Andy was set behind by a minute and a half after Starman Jr. And he was just unable to make back that time up over the course of the whole run because both runners proceeded through everything without any deaths. It's a pretty good pokey pull on strawflowerss side. I actually just noticed that. That's pretty chef's kiss. That's like a 9 out of 10. I really like seeing all the Oxcat support in chat. Because like I said before, she's really been kind of getting the shaft in terms of Earthbound RNG in the first 2 rounds. She is a much better player than her posted times make her look. Ox starting the Starman Jr. fight first. Of course, it is a completely uncontrollable outcome. We want to see as few PSI fires as possible. Strawflowerss entering as well. I see a 127 for the first Buzz attack. That's really good. And a freeze is nice. An 89 charge forward from Strawflowerss. That may wind up being a 3 cycle unless we get a really big attack on the next one. Buzz finishes the job. Oxcat is out of Starman Jr. at 7:42. Very solid time. Yeah, 56 on the second Buzz attack. Not very good. We're still kind of stuck here for a little bit longer. And I'm seeing way too much fire as well. That's a lot of time loss. Yep, that's smash when we don't need it. So we're looking at about a 40-second difference here between Oxcat and Strawflowerss on the Starman Jr. time. In a Boogey percent race, that's not too much. I would say a minute and a half is kind of a big problem, but 40 seconds can definitely be recovered in other areas. Oh, I see Oxcat was trying to stutter skip the Buzz trigger. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if she's ever pulled that off. She probably has. I heard tell of her having performed the Starman Jr. skip successfully before, but I don't know if that was ever in context. I've only pulled it off once myself. And when I had that save state set up, I was able to do it repeatedly. But when I tried to put it in context, I couldn't make it happen. I wanted to believe so badly that runners were just getting better and that maybe we could conceivably do it in runs, because it would be legal. It has not been completely cast into like don't do this sort of territory. Oxcat getting stuck between two dogs. Kind of annoying. Has to go down to despawn the one up above just to despawn the one down below. Stopping at the magic treehouse on the way to the store. Grab our prize possession and sell it off for some better defense. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch someone do this. Buying the hat first and then the bat. The math kind of evens out the same, it's just a different order of purchasing. I hear that if you do that instead of the normal buying the bat first method, if you skip shopping in Happy Happy Village, that'll make your menuing a little bit more optimal for the Death Orb. I have to try that out myself still. Solid Pokepunk fight. Looked like it didn't attack on the first turn, so we were able to skip having to heal with the bread roll. Going for the fruit juice. Strawflowerss having a similar situation. Oxcat with a smash on the second Pokepunk. That'll save 2 turns. Miss is annoying. Yes Man Jr. goes down. Oxcat will be starting Frank first. For Frank, you want to make sure that your HP is at max at all times. You want it to be at max before you even enter. So that every time he hits you, you want to heal with a life up. And once you run out of life ups, start digging into those burgers you have. That is the best way to secure your survival. Dang! Oxcat unable to mash out a 22 HP brandish attack and dies to Frank. That is really sad. Matching out 22 is definitely difficult and sometimes inconsistent. I think Olivonet needs to be nerfed, honestly. It's really tough. Strawflowerss finishing Frank. Fuzzy Pickles, everyone. Ox will have to struggle a little bit with getting back into the arcade. Either just trying to brave the spawn tiles head on, or go all the way around to the left and do the despawn trick again. Also, having to stutter a snake is real annoying. Look at that. Very tight. Frankenstein Mark II, much simpler of a fight. You can take advantage of the fact that he only attacks every other turn. Every other turn he just lets out a burst of steam. Just kind of keep your HP above 30 if you can. Above 23, really. Maybe 24, depending on your level of mashing skill. Ozcat trying Frank again. Still getting brandished pretty hard. Every turn with the brandish. Stop. Oh, Ness missing. Ness is so bad. Strawflowerss grabbing the key to the shack from the mayor. Meanwhile, Oxcat starts Frankenstein Mark II. When your HP is that low, you definitely want to make sure you life up or heal on the empty turn. That's a mistake you don't want to make. Ness missing a bunch. Really annoying. He's standing completely still. So I believe we're looking at roughly like a minute 45 of a delta between these two. Roughly. As we know, the slug grind is prone to changing all of that a lot of the time. Everyone knock on wood for these runners. We don't want to see any ant deaths. We've had more than enough of those this tourney. Strawflower is clearing out that can of fruit juice. I guess they accidentally purchased it. That's a pretty good move. You would much rather have a burger instead. Pretty safe. Nothing worse than struggling against Titanic Ant and accidentally using one of your weaker healing items that you're holding onto, maybe for Car Painter. Waste an entire turn and sometimes even kills you. Strawflowers just needed to get tucked snugly into that respawn position for the attack slugs on the left. We need to hit 22 in total to get to level 8 in order to learn Rockin', in order to fight the ant. The real annoying thing about this strategy is that sometimes you will just spend over a minute walking back and forth past that little pebble, trying to get the slugs to spawn in. It starts to be like, come on, is this thing broken? And this situation is always unfortunate. Yeah, got the mouse while trying to stutter past it. When the mouse is sort of like layered on top of those slug sprites like that, it can be really difficult to discern exactly how far away each hitbox is from you, and sometimes you'll accidentally hit the wrong one. I saw that Ox was trying to get a mouse pulled against that corner, but not quite successful. Looks like she's going for that skip sandwich. maybe not. Maybe changed her mind at the last second. Mainly was probably just trying to clear some sprites so she could get into position effectively. She still has not fought any slugs yet. Meanwhile, Strawflowerss, I believe this is her third pack of 4, so that'll put her at 12. So now we have the mouse in position, so we don't have to worry about mice spawning on top of the slugs and getting in the way of your life. Strawflower's cutting it close with the HP, but if you can manage it, it works pretty well to save on your resources during the grind. On Oxcat's screen, going with auto fight on the very first slug pack fight can be a little risky, because sometimes you will roll on damage for less than 30, which is their max HP total. If that happens, typically you want to hit the same slug a second time just so you make sure that it gets knocked out and you don't just do another low damage roll on another slug, because that'll result in an ultimate net time loss. It looks like a 3-pack on Strawflower's side, so I don't know what she's going to do now in terms of slug math. Oxcat also cutting it close with the HP. Does manage to cancel auto before auto healing in the fight. In terms of making sure your HP is good for these slugs, it's always going to be faster to make sure you life up outside of battle instead of wasting a turn inside the battle. This will be Ox's third slug pack. I wonder if Strawflower's just missed some lag, because slugs will not spawn in singlets over there. Looks like we got another 2. So this should set her to be at like 18, perhaps? Three-pack for Ox as well, so that's going to offset her slug math in the same way. Strawflower struggling to get back left. That spawn plate where the mice spawn can be really rough. Just stutter back to despawn the mice over and over. Ah, the 4th one was just down below, all on the left side. Another 3-pack for Strawflowerss. These odd numbers are getting confusing for me. It's hard for me to even keep track. Normally I just get to go off of my 4 timetables. Now we're doing random addition in there. It's getting algebraic. I believe Oxcat is going to be looking for a 6-pack here. Did Strawflowerss hit level 8 already? I don't think so. Yeah, in these situations, it's gonna help to know how to identify 6-packs of slugs. 6-packs of slugs are typically gonna be a lot more condensed. So if you see 3 packs of 2 that are kind of far apart, it's most likely not going to actually be a 6-pack of slugs. Instead, it's going to be like one of those twofers with a single slug and a single antoid, or even just 2 antoids. Strawflowerss is moving out of the room. And Ox is fighting single antoids. I wonder if this is intentional. Just to kind of round out those levels. Yeah, it looks like it. That is some I know what I'm doing type movement. Because a single antoid, single slug fight can be okay, as long as you manage to take out the single antoid relatively quickly. It does take 2 hits to kill every time if you're still level 7. Strawflower's getting into an unfortunate antoid encounter on one of those 3 rooms. Oh, we got antoid C. That's pretty rough. We just need to run away. willing to bet that this is Ox's last pair of 2. That's a nice smash. Takes it out in 1 turn instead of 2. Ooh, strawflowerss opting to use Rockin' instead of just running. That's gonna leave her with less PSI for the ant fight unless she turns around to go get more. Yeah, gonna turn around and go get more. That was a pretty rough and scary fight. I would typically just gun it for the runaway and life up if my HP gets too low, but sometimes in the interest of survival, that's a decision you have to make. Yeah, looks like she wants to be extra prepped for the ant fight. Ooh, another red swirl on Ox's side. Oh, that smash is rough. The reverse smash in the other direction. So Ox, in this situation, is more at risk of getting some of that PSI magneted away, preventing a second Rockin' usage. Just gotta knock him out really fast. Titanic Ant has already done a shield, so that's a pretty rough start. 95 rock and roll against Ant is good, though. I want to see another one like that. Strawflowerss starting Ant as well. Opens with a magnet. So again, we need to get that second Rockin' out as soon as possible. I missed what Ox's second Rockin' hit for. Not quite sure of HP counts. But Ant is shielded for Oxcat, and that is a smash. Thankfully, she did not get bit a second time. Also, Strawflowerss finishing very strong with a big smash. She takes out Titanic Ant first. Meanwhile, Oxcat is still stuck, running low on healing resources as well. Decides to go for the bash. Very risky play. Ah, but it was probably knowing that he only had 1 hit left to take, roughly. So good move. We're actually not that far apart here. We both finished in the 26-minute mark. That Frank death sort of got leveled out. Just one melody's difference. Oh, that butterfly in the doorway. That's just pointless. Time sucked out. Yeah, we're looking at about like 35 seconds of difference here. Oh, a little bit more now if Strawflowerss goes for that skip sandwich, but Oxcat might do the same thing. Now that I think about it. Did I say a little bit more? I meant a little bit less, because Strawflowerss has the lead. Yep, sure enough, Oxcat going for the Onet skip as well. Strawflowerss is using it now. That's an interesting idea. Skip sandwich strats have been coming back in full force this tournament. It's been really interesting to witness. Me and my old head ways have been pretty resistant to change, but I'm starting to see its benefits. They're getting me to come around. So if Oxcat isn't using her skip sandwich here, I wonder where she plans on using it at. Strawflowerss starting cops first, opening with a crushing chop. It's not really what you want to see. And the pointless smash on the third turn doesn't even save any turns. I'm just kind of darting my eyes back and forth here. I saw a miss on Ox's side. You don't want to see that. We are one cop apart. Strawflowerss finishing the second one while Ox finishes the first. Typically against these cops, the sort of strategy to look for is like if your HP is below around 60, you want to use a burger. If your HP is below like 35, 30, you want to use a life up. Just to sort of keep yourself alive. Unfortunately, this strategy doesn't necessarily account for cop smashes, but they happen so infrequently that prepping for that scenario would probably mean you need to keep your HP above like 70 at all times, and that is just going to drain your resources a lot more quickly. It's one of those harsh woe netty realities that we kind of just have to deal with. So Strawflowerss finishes the main cops and moves on to Captain Strong. Oxcat has one more cop to fight. And she seems to be towing the line with her burger count. That is her last burger getting used right now. Strawflowerss had a decent HP count using a Rockin'. Hits very high for 91, so a second one should just wipe him out immediately. Another 91. There you have it. That is a 31-12, 31-13 O-net time for Strawflowerss. Captain Strong time, at least. We want to see Oxcat survive this too. Come on. It's going to take her a little longer to win, because we're going to only have one rock in here. Deciding to bash first. Missing. Definitely got to life that back up. Oh no. Okay, Dudge managed to mash out the 22, so she redeemed herself for that earlier. Might decide to just keep bashing. That smash for 40 is pretty good. That was a smash on a guard turn. Otherwise it would have done 80. Oh, just going gung-ho for the Rockin' to finish it out. Nice work. About a mid 32 minute, 32-0 something time for Oxcat, so... Ooh, Strawflowerss getting a bad fight at the start of Tucson. Gotta throw that Rockin' right now and just hope it kind of wipes everything out. Antoid A gone, Antoid B gone, Mushroom gone. Alright, cool. We can continue on. And that gives Oxcat ample time to sort of catch up a little bit. Even the playing field just a little. But now Strawflowerss is pretty much out of resources. We do have a couple hamburgers actually, so that works. But no PSI, so we definitely want to avoid any more encounters. On the safety side, you already want to avoid encounters anyway, obviously, for time purposes, but in terms of safety, these are things you gotta keep in mind. Yeah, that ATM angle does not work. You gotta get a little bit more in front of it. For Apple Kid, we need one food item to give him because he's hungry. That's why that burger present just south of the O-net barriers is a good one to pick up if you run out during the strong police cop situation. Both runners in the applicant building at the same time. So we're pretty steady even here. This PRV may very well shake things up. These mushroom and sprout spawns have a very specific radius that is invisible and outside of them, to where if you walk within that radius, they will start running at you, and they will not stop. As a runner, it's pretty important, I think, to sort of learn to get a feel for that radius. And unfortunately, the only way to do that is to get it wrong a lot and suffer a lot. These despawns in the cave are some of the most annoying parts of this sort of segment. Ooh, not good. Yeah, you really don't want to be buffering to the right out of that door, because sometimes there are sprouts that can spawn right in front of you. If you're not paying attention, they'll catch you off guard. Going for the runaway, does get it. Lucky break. Moves on. Strawflowerss has just moved up to the place where we need to get to in order to load the iron pencil into memory. That is what triggers the applicant phone call coming out of that tunnel, so that we can go get the pencil eraser and then erase it. Oxcat doing the same thing, making that turnaround. Seems to get held up by fewer spawns. I don't think there were actually any spawns out here that blocked her until these two just now. So we're actually very, very neck and neck here. Nice butterfly trajectory landed right in Strawflower's hands. And another one right after that. Wow. I feel like I never see two butterflies on that same walk. That's pretty crazy. Oh, interesting. Strawflowerss is doing like the Tucson manip pathing to get to Applecid, going around the back of the Bergman Park instead of through the front. I feel like I don't ever see that in a non-manipulated speedrun. People typically go through the front gate. Strawflowerss is not a skip sandwich buyer, it seems. I feel like almost everyone is doing that nowadays. Oxcat is definitely going to be buying at least one, if not two. Yeah, getting two. Skip sandwiches have been used recently to get runners out of sticky situations in PRV. And I approve. That's something that we as a community never really used to do. You just kind of walk through there and hope everything goes right. Strawflowerss about to erase the pencil. Oxcat right behind. I want to see some Earthbound gaming moments during this section here. That UFO is workable, but we have some more spawns right behind it on Strawflower's side. Just despawn those, make it again. Some UFOs down below. Thankfully nothing spawned back in on the top, but oh, they're still there. Still there. Moves up far enough the second time to get rid of them. Continues on. Oxcat hasn't seen anything yet on her side. There's a little diamond blocking the way. Gets rid of that pretty easy. Strawflowerss does the despawn trick, but there's still a tree below has to turn around for that. For the trees, you really have to go the extra mile in order to get those despawned because they have like a lot bigger of a sprite than the other enemies here. So sometimes you'll think you've gone far enough. Oh, that's a miss menu. That was definitely a miss menu for Oxcat. She was trying to open her inventory and get the skip sandwich and then accidentally pressed A again. At least that's what it looked like. That was pretty rough. That would have been a good moment. Now we have to do rockin' to get rid of the sprout. Doesn't quite work. And now another sprout's in the mix while strawflowerss surges ahead. Oh no! The tree explosion did her in. Yeah, that's really rough. I feel like that's a fight that you definitely don't want to put any damage output on. Just keep running and lifing up until you get out. Strawflowerss does make it to Happy Happy Village, goes straight to the banana stand. And then heads into the shop for some better equipment for this section. Oxcat threading the needle on those mushrooms, I understand taking that risk. It did look very easily doable, and it was. But now Ox has to start PRV all over. Yes, Ox was. I remember hearing about that. Us Westerners were not doing that for the longest time. And then Octo came along and showed us the light. I remain grateful for the fact that the Western and the Japanese communities began to overlap finally. We needed some corroboration. Oh, this pincer is really bad. That's a bad pincer. Is she gonna be able to get out of it? Nope. Tries to use a skip sandwich, but I don't think it was ever going to work. Yeah, Temple, exactly. In Mother 2, it seemed like it was by far more beneficial because shopping for those sandwiches was always a lot faster than doing it with the English text. Yeah, Oxcat's just gonna have to take another death here. There's not really a faster way to get out of that fight. That UFO is very much unrunnable. I don't think you have any chance of running away until like turn 5. And once you reach turn 5, you have like 5% chance or something like that. Yeah, some of the newer runners have been getting pretty experimental with using skip sandwiches to skip fights in other places. My favorite example that Blink just came up with, I don't think anyone else has ever done this, maybe the Japanese community has, but sort of getting a Foppy spawn in front of that final spawn tile in Belch's base in order to use the iframes to get past all that stuff very easily instead of having to sit there and despawn for 2 minutes like we always do. Strawflowerss in the single cultist fight, I believe this is, gets cultist C pretty fast. But no problem, takes them all out. I just don't remember if anyone ever timed out that difference in a vacuum. Like, oh, Ox, come on. Getting stuck on a wall and getting sprouted. I hate to see it. But yeah, what someone should do, I think, is like... never mind. Let me talk about the actual gameplay. Strawflowerss started car painter. No reflex here. Gonna throw those rockins out, get some damage output on him. After the life up nullifies the first bash. We do get a lightning reflect, and this rockin should finish him off. There you go. And immediately Oxcat is in another rough situation. Gonna have to navigate this terrain. Does pull it off this time. Good job. Good play. I'm thinking what we need to do is sort of time out the shopping time versus just regular walking speed in a vacuum, like in a sort of place where you can just walk in a straight line without any lag. Time how long it takes to get from A to B without having the skips versus having them. Has that ever been done? I wonder. So Oxcat does make it to Happy Happy Village just as Strawflowerss finishes the car painter segment. Something I've been entertaining, especially now that I have the BizHog emulator, is just maybe doing some Boogey% theory tests. I would love to pit all of the legendary different strategies and routes that we used to use against each other. That could be an interesting idea. But even if we don't know for sure if buying skip sandwiches leads you with very much of a net negative in terms of time, we do know pretty much for sure that using them to skip any enemies that you otherwise wouldn't be able to is definitely a plus. I'm particularly a big fan of skip sandwich strats for Threed Cave, since we're starting to dig more and more into how those green swirls work, the kind of weird angled ones that were really unexplainable in the past. Mole Death Warp does take out Nest first, but it took a couple hits because of his HP count. But Paula does go down after a few turns of bashing, and Strawflowerss is out of Happy Happy. Oxcat looks like we're having some Cultist C situations in the shack fight, but just one more bash to take it out. Decides not to go for the heal. Definitely a valid play in this situation. Definitely lost a lot of ground time-wise with those two deaths. So Strawflowerss is going to take care of all the story beats we have to make here. Revive Paula at hospital, talk to Lucky, get backstage pass, talk to Paula dad, get permission to save the world, talk to Everdread, get big ass wad of cash, go watch the Runaway 5, set them free, ride the bus, reach 3 to split. Oxcat getting caught up by some cultist spawns in the overworld. Ooh, does not have a skip sandwich to use for this, so she's gonna have to go for the despawn. Thankfully it's nice and easy. No pesky Janet. The single cultist, what you're looking for is for him to bash you a few times before you kill him so that you can get your HP down a little bit. But not necessarily so much that it's kind of dangerous right off the bat. You would like to be able to take at least one hit from Carpainter. That's why sometimes that single cultist calling for cultist B can actually be pretty beneficial. It's not an immediate danger right off the bat. Starting the Carpainter fight, you want to open with that bash because you know on the following turn not necessarily any, but 100 HP-ish of HP is going to get life back up. And if you had Rockins here, you would use them. But we're sort of relying on Lightning Reflex at this point. Yeah, Oxcat does need to heal here. Decides to go for the life up. Takes the hit. And we do have a Reflect that should kill. Indeed, it does. So Carpainter is down after much torment. And we got Runaway 5 on the left side. Does anyone feel like dancing? Just a little dance. Oh, I like the Samus one. That's pretty cool. Looks like Super Metroid. Splatilda, that is crazy. Oh yeah, shake that thorax. Oscat is dropping her defensive items and Teddy Bear. Definitely want to not keep those items on, and you definitely don't want to keep that Teddy Bear in your inventory for this Death Warp because the Teddy Bear absorbs attacks 75% of the time. According to everyone who says so, definitely feels like a lot less whenever you need it to. Paula with the gut save, that's really annoying. That's going to cost at least one extra turn. The Sharp Nails is good, because that does save one bash on top of the regular attack, and then Paula goes down as well. Tucson shenaniganery complete. Ooh, strawflowerss got some pumpkin head action on her side. I really hate that guy. That's my least favorite guy. A lot of flies I see at the start of Graveyard here. Oh, sorry. Caught me in the middle of a yawn. I need to talk about everything I just saw. That was crazy. Oh no. I think I know what that means. Strawflowerss does make it through Graveyard to the zombies, just has to make it back out. That is a bad ghost. Bad ghost. Definitely need to throw a freeze here. Hopefully just one-shot it. Paula is gonna die. No, not quite. This is a rough situation to be in because now, well, I guess you can just bash it out. It will take a few turns. Unless it calls for help, just like that. You can't run away from this. The ghosts have even more speed compared to you than the UFOs do, so it's gonna take a long time. Yeah, you're gonna have to start defending if you want to run away from this. I feel like bashing it out would probably be just as fast. Hey Airfram, hey Slug. Hey channel mods. Oh, another fight! This is just a bad situation. Strawflower is gonna defend for a few turns, presumably. Gets the runaway. One thing about Graveyard is it isn't too terrible if you die there. Obviously, you do want to survive if you can. But if you die to a fight quickly, after encountering the zombies, then it's no big deal. Even if you die before you encounter the zombies, it just places you where the Runaway 5 dropped you off. You can just walk there again. But it's definitely better to die to a fight after encountering the zombies, because then the zombie hooker will already be in front of the hotel. Even if you do... Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay, I knocked something, I had to fix it. Even if you do die to Graveyard in a full glitchless run and lose money, you're not that bad off, because after all the Boogie tent stuff, excuse me, or even before that, maybe, but probably after your Boogie tent fight, you can just withdraw money from the 3 ATM because you go in there anyway. You should, in most situations, you should be able to just level yourself out at that $246 benchmark before going through the whole 3-tunnel belch base debacle. Strawflowerss is starting our winter's progression first. Going through our complete waste of time with Maxwell with the broken key. I remember someone pointing out in chat the other day how odd it is that Tony waits for Jeff to be standing on him in order to give him his little spiel. Like his goodbye is like all heartfelt, but it's like Jeff is standing on him. Oxcat reaches 3'd. Strawflowerss gets a crow spawn. We'll see what she decides to do with that. Just kind of has to take the walk. Monkey does get the green. So it is an insta-win, but all that gives us is a cookie. We don't quite get the level up. In order to level up, we need that 4 exact experience points from the dog. Oxcat seeing some enemy spawns in the graveyard, got some flies floating around. Does clear the way. Reaches the zombies, triggers the thing. Does manage to get out without any encounters, so that does settle the score, even the playing field, just a little bit. Strawflowerss' lead is still pretty sizable at this point. It'll take some happenings for Oxcat to catch up. And with this, we have our first Tessie of the evening. First of many more. Thank you, Oxcat, for your many Tessies. Strawflowerss will be first to enter Brick Road. Want to see a fast proto fight here. Attempts the first proto skip, doesn't get it. That's a really difficult trick. Ooh, the immediate call for help, not fun. Decides to bash again. Bash one more time, just to make sure it dies. We need to size up from this second guy. Yeah, that's a proto death right there. Tried and true proto death. Thankfully, the boiled egg did not get wasted, so if we decide to use it again here... Oh, the failed summon this time. Don't want to see that Proto B. Just throw some bashes out. Get the shoots out. We'll be done. Nice and easy. That duck is skippable. Uses the boiled egg to max HP back out. Good move. Want to see a move left? Left. Left. There it is. Yes, good. That should be workable by itself. And then he moves to the left further to secure his position. Skipped duck. And skipped second proto. Excellent work. I see Oxcat is selling items for the first proto skip attempt. Get that skip sandwich DX. I would love to see that pulled off in one of these. I've never seen this version of the first proto skip actually be successfully completed. Strawflowerss starting Pawn Cave, sort of despawning the room for a safe spawn configuration. It's probably a good move considering the lead that she has. Not even gonna bother with stutters, just get rid of them. Oxcat gets a crow spawn on the Winter's Walk. Another monkey green. Oh, strawflower is getting mushroomed. You gotta pay attention for those guys. Because there is no getting past them unless they are very tucked in a specific position in these rooms. Ooh! Goes down to the mushroom. There is hope for Oxcat yet. Still got a lot of ground to make up, but that is something. Definitely, boss. Like I said, it's gonna take some happenings, and these look like some happenings. Strawflowers does still have a lead. Still going for those despawn tricks instead of stuttering. This is a lot of time to spend trapped in one spot. That's why stutter stepping in here has become so much more popular as a way of getting through here. Not sure what that move was. But the slug encounter is very simple. Just 2 bops on the head and they're gone. Maybe decided to just go for it. Man, that one slug pushed her all the way back there. Yeah, just take it out. It was just one. Oh. Never mind. It was 2 on the exact same spot that were pulled in the exact same way, all the way down. Alright, let's see this skip sandwich action. Ah, monkey ruins it immediately. That's a bummer. I really wanted to see that. That was the same mushroom as before. Now it's gone. First protoplasm does go down for Oxcat. Good stuff. Oh, that duck was very nearly skippable from its first position, but now we have this sort of mess to deal with. Ooh, the skip sandwich speed could still be used. Nice! And that second proto skip would have been successful if not for the monkey. Don't like to see that proto B, but this fight is not nearly as dangerous as long as you actually win the first one. Ah, that miss is rough. Strawflowers just has to get through this last mushroom spawn tile in order to get out of the cave. Still stuck there. Oxcat is finishing Brick Road now. This lead gap is tightening very quickly. If Ox can have like a crystal clean pond cave, that'll make a huge difference. The lead the Strawflowers had has already been greatly diminished, and you see Oxcat going for the stutter steps because that's kind of what she has to do. That one seemed a little sketchy, so she decided to go back out. Strawflowers is still stuck against these mushrooms. These slugs feel a lot more sutterable for Ox. She goes past them. Strawflowers finally makes it out. And Ox is just a couple rooms behind. Stuttering a mouse. Hopefully don't get into this encounter. Doesn't quite get away. Looks like now it's just gonna all come down to the Boogey tent. The strawflowerss will be starting their Skyrunner ride very shortly. Meanwhile, Oxcat still has a little work to do. Good empty first area. We want to see a sort of manageable spawn situation in the center area. This one does look good. She decides to go for the stutter. And the third spawn plate is clear, making it through the second room very quickly. Third room does have mushrooms at the front. Gonna have to do some despawning, going in and out the door to get rid of them. This is another one of those rough spots where you can just be here forever. Because with mushrooms, there's not really a way to get around them reliably with the way that these rooms are shaped. Finally gets through that first tile, despawns a pair of mushrooms for the second tile, uses the bubblegum, climb the rope. Brash, you need to hurry up and come back to this game and join the tournament next year. Oxcat having a much easier time with that final mushroom position. Dang, I didn't track strawflowerss pawn cave exit. That's the plan? Hell yeah. Let's do it. There's a renaissance unfolding in this community, guys. I can see it with my bare eyes. Old stuff's becoming new again. Bare eyes. strawflowerss does get the safety bear here. Definitely a good move, considering she has the lead. Definitely does not want to have a Boogey tent emergency in this situation. Because that's what it's going to take for Ox to potentially take the win here. I want to see a nice, clean Jeff BBR throw. And nothing else. .537 is a great roll. One rocket should finish the job. Use up the regular bottle rocket just in case. And that'll do it. GG strawflowerss. Congratulations on the round floor win. Can't even talk. GG strawflowerss. Good job. Very perilous at the end there. That pawn cave, or that winters was rough all around. So with this win, Strawflowerss will be going 2-2 in the tourney, which is actually a pretty good win-loss for seeding. She and Oxcat were actually seated one position off of each other, like they were seated right next to each other. But Oxcat will be going 1-3 after this. Ox going no bear, just wants to finish it out. Really hoping for that Paula one shot. Using the skip sandwich at the last second. That's a Jeff solidify. Definitely need to see that rocket go off. 5:30. So this one rocket should finish the job. And we're done. GG Oxcat on the finish. We had a Frank death and then 2 PRV deaths for Oxcat. Just a kind of rough start to put her pretty far behind. But the fact that she came so close to actually clutching out this victory really squashed out that big lead difference. Speaks volumes. Like I said at the beginning of the race, Oxcat is a lot stronger of a runner than her posted times this tourney have made her look. She's had some pretty run-of-the-mill earthbound shenaniganery. $114.53 to $116.49. GG to both runners on the completion. So next up, I believe we will be taking an intermission. Let me see. Yes, it will be Oxwas and Lord Taco at the top of the hour. And then after that, Pebble Possum, Peen Train, Rain, and Genie. I'm looking forward to that quad in particular. So thanks y'all for watching. And stay tuned for more. Oh, we're going to be rating Hope Lock. Everyone show her your support for sure. She is a brand new runner who has been inspired by all of us. Ooh, Strawflower's getting the debug menu. I don't think this is, I don't think you can IBNT 69 this one. Very glitchy debug menu. Got W's everywhere. Anyways, I think it's break time. Oh! Wow, what the heck? It released her after that? Okay, that's pretty crazy. And now you just have the whole game like this. What? That's crazy. And now we have Pooh in the party. Okay, that's wild. I would love to see a full glitchless run with that. Anyways, we're about to raid Hope Block. Talk to you guys here in a little bit. Be back at the top of the hour.
Hello. Oh. Oh, you are good luck. All of you are good luck. Oh my gosh, it's my first